What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, single game $1 million winner. Well, here are some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for tonight's single game showdown slate, Thursday Night Football, FanDuel, DraftKings, Indianapolis Colts, and the New York Jets. In this video, we'll talk about low risk and high risk lineup construction types. We'll discuss all the injuries on tonight's slate and who that impacts, and just some general strategies to help get you to the top of your contest leaderboards. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Get notified when we go live or upload any new videos. MMA, NFL, NBA, we're doing all types of videos through the end of the year, so make sure you're subscribed. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Lets us know to continue to make more of this type of content. Any questions you have, hop in the comments below, or more importantly, join our Discord server, join the growing community of OccupyFantasy.com members and staff to get your questions answered and talk with everyone about daily fantasy sports. So let's jump into it. Colts, Jets. Colts about a 10.5, 11-point favorite for this game. Jets coming off that thrilling win against the Bengals. And let's discuss some of the injuries and how it impacts the slate. So the Colts side, really the only major injury we have is T.Y. Hilton. He's been ruled out with a concussion, could not be cleared in time on a short week. As a result, Ashton Doolin will be the wide receiver 3, and his name will be important shortly. On the Jets side, Corey Davis is once again doubtful. He will not play. He missed Sunday's game, and we'll have some reserve Jets receivers who see an increased role like they did on Sunday against the Bengals. And then Tevin Coleman, running back, is out once again. If we can find him, there he is. He's out. Michael Carter will carry the load. Ty Johnson will mix in. Let's see here. Zach Wilson is out once again. Mike White will get the start. And the kicker, Rodrigo Blankenship, still in injured reserve. He's not ready to return. Michael Badgley will kick tonight for the Colts. So let's start with low-risk contests, 50-50s, double-ups, head-to-heads. If you've seen our videos, you've read our guides, you know the deal by now. 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, lock up all the scoring to help get us to the top half of a low-risk contest, remember. We just need to beat half the field. So locking up all the scoring is a great way to do that. So tonight, Jonathan Taylor, we expect to be the most popular player on both sites. The most popular captain and MVP choice, so let's get him in. Carson Wentz, obviously the quarterback. Mike White starting at quarterback tonight. And then Michael Carter, 8,600. Now, this just leaves $1,700 left per player. And on a typical slate, this is generally not enough to make it work. However, we do have some value. And like I mentioned a little bit ago, Ashton Doolin will be extremely popular tonight. So $200, and you may think, who the hell is Ashton Doolin, right? So if we look at his last few games, 4 targets. Ty was active in one of them, in there for a little bit for another, but we're looking at 9 targets over the last 3 weeks. He just missed our underperforming wide receivers list. He's expected to have scored just over 20 fantasy points over the last 3 weeks. He scored 3.7 to be exact, 0, 2, and 1.7. So if you're box score watching, you may think, why would I want to play this guy $200? He looks like any other $200 play. However, the amount of routes he should run, the opportunity he has seen when he's been on the field, and the fact that T.Y. Hilton is out and opening up that wide receiver 3 spot makes Doolin a pretty popular punt play. We expect him to be incredibly popular in all contest types. So to save some salary and to block yourself in case he scores a touchdown in low-risk contests, you get him in. $200. Now that's $3,200 left per player. Now we can fit, if you want the Jets defense, Keelan Cole, Denzel Mims, these reserve Jets receivers. Mims actually led the team in routes run last week against the Bengals. Cole was out there for a bunch of routes as well. So any of these guys will work. And if you're not thrilled with this, you can always swap Wentz and Taylor, get up a little bit higher. Maybe play Carter at the captain spot with all of his passing game usage. I mean, Carter's usage has been crazy lately. 14 targets against Cincinnati, 9 targets against New England. It's 23 targets in the last 2 weeks. Just an insane role without Tevin Coleman, and especially with Mike White under center. So, I know he's a 10-point underdog, but if they're going to be trailing the throwing and we get 10 targets from Michael Carter again, it's hard to argue with him as a captain choice. But again, key takeaway on DraftKings, we can fit in the 4 main core plays in our low-risk lineups pretty easily thanks to the value on the slate. All right, let's clear it out. Let's go over to FanDuel. Now, unfortunately, on FanDuel, we have to make the decision because if we try to fit those 4 guys here on FanDuel, there's no $500 players on FanDuel. We can't make this work. So we have to make a decision. Now, we've mentioned a couple times, we've seen these scenarios here with FanDuel's pricing in 2021. If we want to do this, generally, because of their scoring system, We like to fade the opposing team's running back in low-risk contests, the underdog's running back. So Michael Carter, I know he's a great play tonight, especially with the passing game role. But again, if we're going to choose him or a quarterback, and it's only a 1K difference, we're going to go with the quarterback every time, especially as a 10-point underdog. So this only leaves $67.50 per player, but these are the three guys that you have to get into your low-risk lineup if you're going to play low-risk contest on FanDuel tonight. Now, again, there's still value. The Colts receivers, the Jets receivers, you can make this work. So that's the way to go. Now, I do have Wentz here as the MVP spot. We probably want Taylor in low-risk contests because we expect him to be about twice as popular as Wentz, and we don't want to miss out on that. So let's get Taylor here, Wentz in the flex spot. This is more likely the start to your low-risk lineup. All right, so let's go back up to DraftKings, and now let's talk about high-risk contests, leagues, GPPs, satellites, any contest with exponential payouts where we have to get a little riskier. Just mentioned Taylor's popularity at the captain spot. You know, a few times in these showdown videos, especially in our daily plug at Occupy Fantasy, we talk about what happens if the touchdowns don't go the way that the field expects them to. Right now, the field expects Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown. They expect him to be the highest scoring player. As a result, he's the most popular captain and MVP choice. What happens if they pass around the goal line or Taylor doesn't get to the end zone? Or he does, but Carson Wentz throws for more touchdowns and scores more points. Now, all of a sudden, we have a less popular captain. Carson Wentz, we expect to be 10 to 12% at the captain spot tonight in large field tournaments. That's fantastic. Play Wentz at captain, pair him with two of his pass catchers. Now you have a different lineup. Only 12% of the field has it, assuming he scores the most points. Love that a lot. We've also talked about the underdog strategy here, playing underdogs at captain because they see reduced ownership, because projections are so reliant on Vegas odds and team totals. But again, if Michael Carter is going to get 10 targets, I'm not saying he will, but if that's in his range of outcomes, and we captain him, 7,400 left per player, easily in any game script he can hit value. That's the best part about Michael Carter at captain. Right, so you have to love that. We expect him to be 8 to 12% at captain, around the same as Carson Wentz, maybe a little bit less. But again, that type of usage is insane. And anytime we see concentrated volume on an underdog at reduced captain popularity, that's a recipe for high-risk success. You could also play, if you're going the underdog route, Mike White and playing him with two of his pass catchers, maybe one of those cheaper guys. Maybe Jamison Crowder. He only played about 60% of the snaps last week, even with Corey Davis out. But interesting ways to go here. The key strategies, and again, we'll outline all these in our daily plug. But the key strategies would be either fade Taylor at captain and hope that the passing game, or hope that the touchdown variance goes in favor of the passing game, or play one or two of these underdogs at captain, especially Michael Carter, given the likely trailing game script. So those are the strategies there. And again, if Doolin's going to be the most popular punt play at 30%, 40%, God knows 60%, depending on which contest you play, where is he? There he is. It's hard to play him at that. Again, I know we said he's slightly underperforming, but there's still a dude that's only seen 4 targets at most in a game this year. He scored less than 4 fantasy points in the last 3 weeks total, not per game total. So it's not like he's some smash play. Is he a good value? Yes. Is he a must play in tournaments at that ownership? Absolutely not. So if you're playing large field contests, you have to go way into the field. You're playing one lineup. You really can't play him just based on game theory reasons alone. Now, you know, if you're listening to this video and you're thinking, oh, we have to play him at low risk but not high risk, how are you telling us different ways to play him? It all depends on the contest type, right? Projections are one thing, but game theory is a much different thing for all different contest types. You have to be understanding of the type of contest you're playing and what the field is going to do if you want to be successful in DFS. Now, FanDuel, probably the easiest leverage we'll have in a while, right? If Jonathan Taylor is going to be 50% at MVP, but Carson Wentz is going to be 25%, which is what we expect, I mean, that's a no-brainer. In small field, high-risk contests, you play Wentz. In large field contests, probably play Wentz as well, right? Now, for the super large GPPs, sure, I understand playing Mike White. Again, he did just come off a 400-yard game. Took some garbage time to get there. Probably won't do it again, but we know he has that in his range of outcomes. Or, again, crazy usage Michael Carter, which should be his nickname. Again, he could easily be the highest scoring player on this slate as well. So I think the takeaway, even though Taylor projects is probably the best overall play, again, if we're looking at what the field's doing in ranges of outcomes and likely scenarios, then you're much better off playing Wentz, Carter, or Mike White at the MVP spot instead of Taylor in high-risk contests. High-risk contests only. So big difference tonight depending on the contest you're playing. Again, make sure you read our daily plug. It's going to be posted by 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Eastern, as it normally is on Thursdays and Mondays for showdown slates. Links in the description below. So make sure you check that out. It gives our rankings for all contest types and then specific lineup construction strategies for different contest types. Everything you need for a showdown slate is in our daily plug. Make sure you check that out. Our Occupy model is already up and running. Ranks every player for FanDuel and DraftKings with projected ownership. Don't want to miss that. And I think that's everything you need. Check out our Premium Showdown podcast with Colin Drew of Daily Roto. He and I chop it up for about 10 or 15 minutes every morning of a primetime showdown slate to give our high-level strategies and thoughts. You don't want to miss it. See how our brains are working on how to attack the slate. And again, that's available at both Daily Roto and Occupy Fantasy. It's on our member dashboard and linked in the middle of the Showdown Daily Plug. So that'll do it for this video. Appreciate you listening. It's an interesting slate tonight. A lot of ways to attack it. I think you'll have fun playing it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get notified when we go live uploading new videos. Give us that thumbs up if you like the video. Any questions? Sure, you can always comment here. We'll happily answer them. But the best way and to chat with other DFS obsessed people, hop in our Discord server, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. Click the join button. Talk with other members of our community. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you soon.